Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Saturday, February 7th, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, celebrating this Black History Month, Jeremy Pierce. Welcome one and all. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. And today's show, we're going to talk about the House of Glory. The independent promotion is making a name for itself, and they're kind of submitting themselves as the top independent promotion right now in the U.S. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about their history, where they started, where they're going, and the future of the House of Glory. But for now, you know what's next, so just go on and hit my music. Now, this list is a little different because it's not really on topic, but these are the current best women's tag teams right now. We start with number 5, Hian and Maya World. Yes, you'd be shocked that they're on this list, but I like what they're doing. They are going to slowly climb and solidify themselves as one of the top teams in AEW and Ring of Honor. I know that there are other teams that are a little bit more established than them, but I just like the growth that these two ladies have. Number 4, the Elegance brand. M and H by Elegance are the current Knockouts Tag Team Champions, defeating the Inspiration, who surprisingly don't make the list just because they're not really wrestling right now until they sign with a new company. But the Elegance brand are pretty much the premier team in TNA. They are going to dominate, and what I really like is now that they have challengers from not only TNA but NXT, and I expect them to beat at least half of them. Number 3, Mega Bad. Now, this could have been the mega problems with Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir, but Marina is stepping away and dealing with Toni Storm again. So Mega Bayne has her original tag team partner back at Penelope Ford, and these two ladies work so well together. I was happy to see Penelope Ford back from injury, and I like the contrast in the women. Mega Bayne's the powerhouse, and Penelope Ford is the athletic one that's doing a lot of the high flying stuff and the hardcore stuff. They're just a really good tag team. Number 2, the Babes of Wrath. The only reason that they're not number 1 is because the team that's number 1 are just kind of better than in the ring. But Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron are the inaugural and current AEW Women's Tag Team Champions, and they are a bundle of joy. They, like Mega Bad, have a contrast in styles with the power and the speed. And yes, Harley is, getting better and better in the ring, but that helps that she has a prominent and dominant and just true partner in Willow Nightingale. They work so well off of each other. Number 1, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky are obviously number 1. I mean, Io Sky is the best wrestler on the planet, and Rhea Ripley once again finds herself in another tag team, and hopefully they don't turn on each other. But they have an influx of challengers, and they are not afraid to face any of them, and I think that really makes great champions. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky are the number 1 women's tag team professional wrestling right now. The spotlight is back on, and it's shining on none other than Zilla. Fatu, currently signed to House of Glory. He has also worked for Game Changer Wrestling. He's also predominantly worked in Reality of Wrestling, which is Booker T's promotion. He is another of the generational Samoan wrestlers. He's the son of Umaga. He's the nephew of the Wild Samoans, having relations with obviously the rest of the Anoa'i family, and he's kind of separated himself from the pack. Instead of being in the WWE, he has been primarily working on the indies and making a name for himself. He had some troubles in the past, but He has worked on that, and he has grown, and now here he is in professional wrestling, just growing and being better for himself. He can slowly become one of the top stars on the independent scene and not really having to sign with a major promotion. Do I expect him to sign with a major promotion someday? Maybe, but there are many people who just work the indies and who help brings that edge to the independent scene, and I believe that is Zilla Fatu. He is only 26 years old, and he has such a long way to go. I look forward to his journey. We'll be right back. The House of Glory. Currently, in my humble opinion, the House of Glory is slowly but surely solidifying itself as the number one independent promotion in the United States. I thought that title before belonged to Game Changer Wrestling, which we'll get into a little bit, but House of Glory is growing and they're climbing, and it's just been a sudden exposure, an explosion for them. So originally, right, the undisputed top independent promotion for the longest of times was Ring of Honor. That can't be debated, that can't be denied. ROH was the place to be, was the spot. That's where you went, right? It's given us so many legends, it's not even funny. But Ring of Honor was gone, and someone had to take his spot, right? And for the longest of times, more recently, I thought it was Game Changer Wrestling, GCW. They were the spot, right? And it helped with Matt Cardona solidifying himself as pretty much the top independent wrestler. And then GCW kind of just fell off, having some troubles here and there. And then the House of Glory came, and I had never heard of them. But all of a sudden, they are all over my feed. They are all over my timeline. So I was like, let me go check out House of Glory, and I'm very happy that I did. So where do we start with the House of Glory? We start with its beginnings, right? They are an independent professional wrestling promotion, and they're based in New York. They're also a training school, right? The promotion was founded in 2012 by Brian XL, a wrestler, and a wrestler you all know of, the Amazing Red. Everybody calls Amazing Red your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler. Amazing Red was that dude. I go back to Amazing Red all the way back to his days in TNA. So they started the school, and Amazing Red and Brian XL operate as event producers and bring in performers, and they have a bunch of styles, mainly high flying and athletic styles, right? So they started running events, and under the leadership of Red and Brian, they started expanding their footprint beyond New York. They've been in Philly, which you go to a lot, Chicago, LA, Texas, right? Then, this is so crazy. I heard about the House of Glory after Mercedes Moné won their women's championship, but also Master P showed up on an episode of Dynamite, and I was like, well, why's Master P here? He purchased House of Glory in 2019. He wanted to elevate his production, his national visibility, which has helped tremendously. With the new ownership, they have shifted to larger scale shows, more collabs, and bringing in more stars. And that has worked out beautifully, right? Their growth is something to be admired, and they've gained recognition, including Mercedes Moné, who was one of their champions. So now they have a school in New York, and they have a school in Florida, and they continue to train the next generation of wrestlers, and they host monthly live events. That's beautiful. So let's talk about a little bit with its growth and expansion. So they solidified their presence in the New York area where they're based, and they host their shows. And to broaden their horizons, they started going beyond New York. So you started in the Northeast, Philly, Boston, Chicago, and then they moved over to Texas. And when you go to these, they started going to these wrestling cities that are meccas. Chicago, Philly. If you say, yeah, what are the 3 biggest wrestling cities in the United States? It's Philly, Chicago, New York. Those are the 3 meccas of professional wrestling, right? Then you could throw in LA, and you could throw in, I believe, Greensboro, South Carolina, just because of its history, and Memphis. But Philly, Chicago, New York, that's where wrestling lives, eats, sleeps, breathes, and dies. So they start to expand, and because of their expansion, they're now collaborating and bringing in guest wrestlers. They collaborated a lot with AEW. The another reason, right, that I very much love and adore AEW is that they acknowledge the rest of the wrestling world. You know what I mean? They say, we are not the only promotions here. There are others. So Private Party, Santana and Ortiz, Young Bucks, Mercedes Moné have all wrestled in the House of Glory. New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi made an appearance in 2023. Matt Cardona made an appearance there. And it's been great for them. Operating their school has been great for them. And now they've secured a streaming deal with Triller, and Triller has been a great get for professional wrestling. So House of Glory's growth and expansion is something to be admired. So then we go to their ownership changes and kind of their recent developments, right? So in 2019, Master P acquired the majority ownership of House of Glory from Amazing Red and Brand XL, aiming to leverage his entertainment background to make a broader crossover appeal for wrestling hip-hop. Hip-hop and professional wrestling are intertwined so hard. There are so many rappers that love professional wrestling. You know what I mean? And Westside Gun's like at the top of the list. You know, Wale used to run Wale Mania. So wrestling and hip hop are intertwined with each other. And because of the integration of hip hop into House of Glory, it for some reason included the revival of Master P's No Limit Soldiers faction, and it helped. It brought in device ownership and the influx of cash up the production, and House of Glory started growing. It started bringing in more eyes on it. So like we go to last year, right, where they exploded their geographic expansion, opening up a wrestling school and event hub in Orlando, Florida. So now they have New York and they have Florida, and that growth has helped. And then they move over to the West Coast for their City of Angels show. So now they're in New York, now they're in Florida, now they're in LA. This is good. And like I said, those bookings have just been great for them. So the operations of House of Glory. Let's talk about their school, their training academy, right? So House of Glory is a wrestling promotion and an academy, and a lot of schools are like that, where they train and they run shows to give you a look at the talent. So they are located in Jamaica, Queens. That's their primary site. Their secondary site is located in Orlando, Florida. So the structure allows them to serve as the foundational element for the promotion of the school. You nurture the talent from beginners. You grasp them, and you mold them, and you integrate them. So now they learn and they get to work in front of a live audience, because one day they could sign with another company, so they have that experience of being in front of the cameras. So their training philosophy centers on respect, desire, dedication, and appreciation for the craft, right? With a strong emphasis on safety, skill progression, and versatility across all wrestling styles. As much as I enjoy the WWE, not like I used to, I think starting primarily NXT isn't a big help for you because you're only learning the WWE style. And I think if you learn other styles across the world, from strong style in Japan to catch as catch can in the South to the heavy strikes in Great Britain, you become better to the luchadors of Mexico. That helps. Amazing Red is the lead instructor for the school, and alongside co-instructor Brian Excel, they have you learn in athleticism how to be technically proficient, how to work on your in-ring psychology to become well-rounded performers. They have even brought in guest instructors like Jay Lethal, like Low-Key, like Quiet Storm, who have just, giving them a wealth of knowledge to the class. The curriculum is great, and the school is very affordable. You know what I mean? And I think that also helps. The major alumni coming from House of Glory, from their school, has been Private Party. Great tag team. And I think that is wonderful. So then let's talk about their roster and their divisions. So they have a men's division, a cruiserweight division, a women's division, a tag team division, and then it's made up of a mix of independent talent and independent talent that they have signed, and crossover talent as well. So let me see if they have anything on their roster. So they don't really have like a dedicated roster. So the wrestlers that wrestle there are a mix of people that they brought in. So let's talk about their men's division. Charles Mason. They've had Mike Santana, Ishii, Zilla, Fatu is a big part of their division. You have the Cruiserweight division with Darren Richardson and Desmond Xavier. You have their women's division, which was led by Megan Bain and Indy Hartwell. The tag team division that has the Hardys, that has Main Event. They are growing ever so slightly and bringing in just an influx of talent to help make their show. So if we talk about let's talk about their current champions. So you have their House of Glory Tag Team Championship, which is held by the Hardys, Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys. And look at some of the people that have been House of Glory Tag Team Champions. You have the Hardys, the Briscoes, the Lucha Bros, LAX, Private Party, Joey Janela and Anthony Gangone, Amazing Red and Crimson. The first champions were the Young Bucks. That's wonderful. Darren Richardson is the current Cruiserweight champion. Their House of Glory Crown Jewel Championship is kind of like their mid-card title. And that's been held. The current champion is Zilla Fatu, but it's also been held by Bully Ray, Charles Mason, Low-Key, TJP, Sammy Callahan, Leo Rush. That's a good get. The women's championship, current champion is Shotzi Blackheart, Indy Hartwell, Megan Bain, Natalia Markova, Bobby Tyler. Like, these are good names, and the women all have long, solid reigns. And Shotzi Blackheart has kind of solidified herself as the top wrestler on independent scene right now. She literally was just crowned PWI's Independent Wrestler of the Year. And then we go to the World Championship. The House of Glory World Heavyweight Championship is currently held by Charles Mason, but other people that have held it have been Mike Santana, Matt Cardona, Jacob Fatu, Amazing Red, EC3, and the inaugural champion, Ricochet. So this company has slowly but surely solidified itself as the top premier promotion. If you go to their website right now, the first thing you see is the City of Angels show and Andrade for their no turning back show in New York. You scroll down, they have the Turf War show announced in Chicago. Like, this is just good. This is just good. I don't know how else to put it. The House of Glory has started to become great. If we look at their past events, so they have an event. Where's their last show? Their last show was the City of Angels show, right? That was this past January 30th. Let's take a look at that card. So it took place in LA at the Globe Theater, aired on Triller TV. Let's look at that card. Zilla Fatu defeated Willie Mack to retain the Crown Jewel title. Darren Richardson defeated Starboy Charlie to retain the Cruiserweight title. 51-50, tag team of Danny Limelight and Slice Boogie defeated the main event. Jay Lion and Midas Black, who are really, really growing on the indie scene. We had Ken Broadway versus Mustafa Ali. Shotzi Blackheart versus Vipers for the women's title. Andrade versus the Amazing Red, and Charles Mason defeating Ray Horse. It's a good show. Let's go to the Chicago show. The last one was Turf Wars. The last one was Return to the Windy City. Same thing. We got Fatu opening. We got Darren Richardson on the card. We got Amazing Red versus Tyler Breeze. We got Shotzi Blackheart versus Indy Hartwell. Ali versus Marcus Mathers. The Rask was taking on the main event. Charles Mason facing and defending the championship against Cedric Alexander. Let's go to their Philly show. Was this their first show in Philly? They've had two shows in Philly. They've had two shows in Philly. The first one was a crossover with Revolver. Let's go to this Philly show. This is placed at the Trinity Center for Urban Life. I have no idea where that is, and I'm Philly. This is my home. This is where I live. Let me take a look. Okay, it's an event space. It's downtown. On this card, Zilla Fatu had defeated Bully Ray to become the Crown Jewel champion. Darren Richardson, Joey Silver. Main event was on the card. Shotzi versus Priscilla Kelly. I'm so bad I missed that one. Cedric Alexander versus the Amazing Red was the main event. So they are now putting on shows in these major cities. They've been featured on MTV. They have articles written about them. So we have one by Lauren Vino. It's called A Day in the Life of a Girl at a Pro Wrestling School, and it's Learning the Ropes is Serious Business. A really, really, really good read. House of Glory is growing, and I don't think they're stopping. They were a big mention during WrestleMania weekend for WrestleMania 40 here in Philly, because they had a dream matchup. There was the Ali match. So House of Glory is growing. Shout out to Master P for buying it, becoming the owner, and saying, I see something here. Professional wrestling needs independent wrestling, right? They start running these major events that feature all of these wrestlers. Then they have these key storylines, and I like that Amazing Red is able to get involved with the promotion. The mid-period of the shifts in talent has kind of been like, we're a little lax here, but let's grow. The women's division has really gained a lot of steam with Priscilla Kelly, with Megan Bain, with Indy Hartwell, with Shotzi, with Ali Ketch, with Zeta Steele, who's young. Master P saw this. He even was like, you know what? Let's do something different. And he booked Mercedes Moné versus Nora Phoenix. Nora's climbing the ranks of independent wrestling. And those cultural impact, this fan base and expansion have just been great. The interconnection of hip hop helps. The fan base of House of Glory that knows professional wrestling, that loves professional wrestling, like, hey, we need to support this. You saw with GCW, you clearly saw it with Ring of Honor. And you're seeing it overseas with Pro Wrestling Eve, with Rev Pro, and many other promotions. Fans help build professional wrestling. And the more we cherish them, the more we care about them, the more we accept them, the more we give them what they want, but say, hey, sometimes we got to do this to get to here. It's a thing of beauty. House of Glory in its rise isn't stopping. And I am so excited for them. We need it. We need independent wrestling. And I think House of Glory can become that new premier independent promotion. I think they need to, I think the most important thing is they need to solidify a roster. I think they have the money, they have the wherewithal. Like, okay, these are our people. We can always bring in other people to face our guys, but this is our roster. It doesn't even have to be a large roster, but you have to, I think, out of everything, they already have the events, they already have the production. They need a bona fide roster like Ring of Honor had. And I think that will ultimately increase the growth of House of Glory. What say you? But that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Look on the screen what we got coming up for the month of February. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. And as always, Anna J, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, Priscilla Kelly, Isla Dawn, and Bailey. Holla at your boy. Peace.